Hi Capricorn, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading for the end of March. I hope you're well. I am going to take a second to remind you that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every single Capricorn. So guys, just take what resonates for you and leave the rest for someone else. Please keep in mind that the energies may reverse. So if it is resonating for you, get in where you fit in, but as always, don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Capricorn? All right, Capricorn, you are starting out with the Five of Swords reversed. You have the Seven of Wands, and you have the Chariot. So you may have had some conflict with somebody, or you're avoiding conflict. I do feel like you're kind of standing your ground in the situation, but you don't want to fight with anybody. You're not in your ego, which is really good energy here, but you may be fighting, or in a conflict with somebody that is. I do feel like, you just don't want to argue. You don't want to fight, but you're going to stand your ground if you need to. And I feel like the way you're standing your ground, instead of fighting with somebody, is you're moving forward. There's very successful forward movement that's happening here. And it's because you're taking charge. It's the Emperor who drives that chariot. So let me see who is in your energy. Show me who is in Capricorn's energy. All right, so yeah, there it is, Five of Wands. It's a power struggle with somebody, and you're basically saying, I don't want to be in a power struggle. I'm not going to fight with you. All right, so we have the Emperor in the reverse. We have the Devil coming out with the Sun in reverse. So this person is toxic. But they could be claiming you are. It's like this push-pull kind of relationship. There's a lot of conflict that's here. And this person, I do feel like they feel diminished somehow in your presence. But I don't think it's what you're doing. It's the fact that you stand your ground with them. They don't like it. With the Devil here, there's toxicity, and it's related to either them, some sort of secrets that they're keeping they don't want brought out, or they may be basically saying you're keeping secrets from them. But I definitely feel like this is somebody who is not taking control of the situation. There's an indication here that there's either they feel that you are being unfaithful, or that they maybe have been, but this is somebody who's not comfortable taking control of the situation. So it's kind of spun out of control, at least in their opinion, but I do see them blaming you for that. Although in your energy, all I'm seeing is that you don't want conflict, and they definitely do. They're fired up. Let me see the energy between Capricorn and this person. The Hierophant. So there's a relationship here. Yeah, there's some sort of a commitment here. You could be married, or you could be in a committed relationship. And I feel like you're trying to avoid conflict, but they're not going to have it. They're not going to have it. Let me see. Show me what's affecting this connection. Queen of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. So you might be focusing more on yourself right now, or your money, possibly children or your home. But I see you focused on other things right now. I also feel like you might be trying to escape the conflict, avoid the conflict by focusing on your work, your job, your children, your own stability here. I see you being committed, though, in this connection. There's definitely some committed energy on your side, and you trying to avoid conflict. Now, on their side, I feel like this person might be overwhelmed. They could have, there could be this energy of them working for somebody or having a lot of commitments. There's an energy of them feeling overwhelmed, needing to find balance in their life. I also have to bring out that this person could have been looking at legal options with regard to this connection as well. They may be trying to find the finances for something to do with legalities. Interesting. Let me see. Show me the outcome. 7 of Cups, confusion. But I feel like you have choices. And this person knows you have choices. And I feel like that makes them very unhappy. So, what in the world's going on here, Capricorn? Yeah, bottom of the deck is the 2 of Swords. And that's indecision. Trying to make a decision that is, you know, going to protect your heart, that you're going to use head over heart type of decision. And you might be going back and forth with regard to this, not really knowing what direction to go. So let's clarify. Spirit, why is the 5 of Swords in reverse for Capricorn? Ace of Cups reversed. And the Ace of Swords. Yeah, you want the truth. You want truth and clarity. You don't want to argue. You're feeling drained, emotionally drained. I do feel like there could have been an ending here of a commitment. Let me see. 7 of Swords. Why is it, I'm sorry, 7 of Wands. All right, 5 of Coins. Page of Wands reversed. I don't see you with anybody new. I feel like you feel very isolated in a connection, wanting clarity, wanting to understand why you're feeling so drained or why something may have ended. There's an energy of, you know, standing your ground here, not wanting to budge, but I don't see anyone new. There's a lack of communication. Yeah, lack of communication within the context of a commitment. There's an energy of feeling rejected or abandoned, but standing up for yourself, even though it's causing a loss. Let me see the Chariot. Why is the Chariot here for Capricorn? All right, we have the 3 of Cups, and we have the Star card. So you're moving towards healing. You're moving towards balance and possibly a reconciliation, but definitely towards happiness and a balanced connection. I don't see you having anybody new. If there was, I feel like it's ended, but I don't even see that. You're just asking for clarity. You're asking for honest, truthful communication versus arguments and fighting and control battles. And you're going to stand your ground, especially if you have children involved in the mix. All right, let's look at their energy. Why is the 5 of Wands here? You could be dealing with an Aries, a Taurus, another Capricorn, a Leo. All right, we have the Queen of Wands and the 7 of Swords. Yeah, so what the conflict is this person feels like either they feel like you have a third party and they want to fuss and fight about that, or because I feel like they're blaming you for something, or they do. They could have a third party here. But the conflict here is a control battle, and it's involving deceit, lying, cheating, stealing within a committed connection. And it has to do with passion. Aries, Leo, Sagittarian energy. Let me see why the Emperor is in reverse. All right, 9 of Pentacles reversed. And the King of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, this is telling me that this person has a third party. They're unstable. This is somebody who's very controlling. They're giving their energy to more than one person. There's a sense here that they realize that it's going to cause a great loss for them. If there's a legal issue at hand or the possibility for a legal issue, they're afraid of losing money. But this is telling me this is someone who is extremely controlling. And they may be trying to control the finances. They may be trying to, there's a sense here that they may have consulted legal counsel about this. But it's also showing me that there's, because you have the Queen of Pentacles in the upright, they have the King of Pentacles in the reverse. So I don't feel like you are doing anything, even though they may be accusing you of doing something. This person has been giving their energy to more than one person and acting single, even though they were not single. And that's what's caused this situation, that and the deceit, to spin out of control. Let me see. Show me the bottom energy. I feel like whatever they're doing, they're blaming you for doing. Yeah, Justice in the reverse. Page of Cups reversed. And the Queen of Swords. This person's not even apologetic for what they've done. There's a sense here of them, you know, not being faithful or not being, you know, upright in this connection. But they're not apologizing for it. They feel entitled, and there is this energy of them having done some deceitful things, but blame them on you. This person is very argumentative, and I do feel like they may even be saying, you did this and that, you had a third party, you had someone else, and you're not apologizing, you owe me an apology. And you're refusing to give me that apology, so I'm the one who's wronged here. I've been wronged by Capricorn, when in fact, it's them that's doing that. Yeah, how frustrating. How frustrating is that? Three of Cups could indicate you moving forward with your life and possibly beginning to date and heal. Let me look at the energy between you and this person. Because they're clearly not open to having an honest conversation with you, but they're saying that you're doing that to them. And you're not. You're just refusing to argue with them. They're saying they don't have anybody else. And then there's this issue of possible legalities. They've checked into the legal side of this because I feel like they're worried about losing their money. Let me see. Show me the energy between Capricorn and this person. Knight of Cups and the Nine of Cups. Yeah, so you're wondering, you know, should you try to make amends with this person, or should you end it? This is where we see the decision. Should you, you know, try to keep the connection together? You're wanting truth, you're wanting clarity regarding love. You do have feelings for this person. But this person is very selfish because we have this Nine of Cups coming out along with the Seven of Swords. So this person will, and the Five of Wands, this person creates chaos. They create this push-pull and conflict in order to get what they want. They're not above doing dishonest things in order to get what they want. They're concerned about their wish fulfillment. So, yeah, let me see. Show me the energy affecting this connection. Because I feel like you may have even tried to bring peace to the situation, but they're not having it. All right, we have the Four of Swords. We have Judgment. We have the Ten of Wands and the King of Wands. And then we have the High Priestess. Wow. Okay. So there is going to be talk between the two of you of bringing this back together, of reconciling this. However, I feel like, and because I see that there's been a break. There was this conflict. You're trying to bring in peace. You're trying to, you know, reconnect with this person. You want truth. You want honesty. You may even come in a loving manner in order to do that. But this person just wants to win. They're very deceptive and they're selfish. So I do see something to do with a reconciliation. However, after a gap in communication. However, here's the thing, is that you're going to pull back and not take any action because you're going to immediately see that there's a problem here involving somebody new in their energy, although they're denying it. Yeah. I feel like you were committed to this person, Capricorn, but they may have left you out in the cold, rejected you. And so I feel like at this point, you're seeing all the problems. It's overwhelming to you. And then what you do is you basically pull back and you stand your ground and you cease communication. You cut communication. You stop talking to them. You stop making any type of action towards them. And you then leave them out in the cold. Why? Well, because there's secrets here. There's secrets. This person may have contacted legal representation. They may be trying to figure out how to keep money within for themselves. There's the energy here of them not being committed to the connection. You're dealing with somebody that I feel like you at one time had stability and a lot of passion with, but due to secrets and deception, I feel like you're kind of realizing you're not on the same page, so you're having to make this judgment call. And this person is going to come in telling you that you're everything they've ever wanted. But see, they have ulterior motives, unfortunately. And I feel like they blame you for what they themselves are doing. They are keeping secrets here. And the secrets have to do with the energy of giving to more than one situation. Let me see the Seven of Cups. Show me the outcome. Show me the outcome for Capricorn. All right, we have the Ten of Cups reversed. We have the Hangman in reverse. And we have the Nine of Wands. Yeah. So in your outcome, there's a lot of confusion that's going to happen because there's this attempt at reconciliation after a gap. But I feel like you're beginning to see the game that this person's playing. Right? And at that point, you decide in order to be successful in your life, you've got to move forward. You've got to heal. You could even be dating. You're looking for something that's balanced. You're unhappy with this person. You're unhappy in this connection. And you do have other options. This person has just worn you down. We have the wounded warrior here. You don't trust this person. And at this point, you don't even trust anybody else that you might go out with because you're just drained. But you have learned a lot, but it's been learned through unhappiness. Yeah, unhappiness and confusion. So I do feel like you are pulling away from this connection. And then their energy, this person is realizing, they're realizing that they are now receiving karmic justice for what they themselves have done, for their toxic behaviors, for their secrets, because their secrets have actually been revealed here. So I do feel, and they don't want to talk about that, but I do feel like for some of you, there's legal action that's going on, particularly if there was a marriage here. And with the Hangman in reverse, this person could have been checking into legal issues. And I have to tell you, a lot of that has to do with keeping their secrets and keeping the money. So they're having a realization about exactly who they are and exactly who you are. And when they feel that they can't control you, Capricorn, Emperor in reverse, that's when they're going to proceed with something that something legally that they've been waiting to do. I wouldn't trust this person as far as I could pick them up and throw them. But, I mean, of course, it's your decision to make. But I think you're going to see everything you need to see. All right, bottom of the deck is the Hermit in the reverse. Sign of Virgo. We have Pisces, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius is here, Scorpio. So almost all of the signs. But as a underlying energy, the Hermit in reverse indicates that you were trying to find the information you needed in order to make a decision. You may have been going back and forth in your head trying to make a good decision, right? You're going to find the answers that you need in order to make that decision. And then I feel like you're going to enact that decision. So yeah, best of luck to you here. I do see, though, that you're going to be moving forward in a very successful manner. But it's going to wear you down. All right. I'm going to pull oracle card for you, Capricorn, and see if there's any further information. Pulling for Capricorn. Okay, it says, be honest with yourself. Look into your heart and you will know the truth of this situation. It's safe to admit the truth to yourself, for we will support and guide you through any necessary changes. Lean upon us for courage and the strength to take good care of yourself. Focus only upon your true desires, and they will come to you upon angels' wings. All right. I hope that this has been helpful for you, Capricorn. If you've resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hide the video if you can. So until I see you in your next reading, Capricorn, know that you are loved, and namaste.